The Hilltop Glove Podcast is sponsored by Mid-Carolina Service Company.
Mid-Carolina Service Company is the first name to search for your residential or commercial HVAC needs in Lexington and surrounding areas.
Just go holler at Jason and Clint. They'll hook you up on the air conditioners, on the restaurant equipment, refrigerators, refrigeration, ice machine repair. They've been doing this for years. I know them cats forever.
Family owned and operated since 2006, they pride themselves in their quality work and customer relationships. Call 803-356-4153 or visit midcarolinaserviceco.com for a no obligation quote for service today.
The Hilltop Glove Podcast is sponsored by True Brilliance Entertainment.
True Brilliance is a production, promotions, and management company dedicated to connecting artists and producers across the Carolinas to music industry professionals.
Several of their clients have placements both domestic and internationally as a result of their services.
Are you an artist or producer looking to build meaningful relationships within the music industry? Then True Brilliance is for you. Check them out at paramilitary.com. That's spelled P-A-I-R-A military.com.
This episode of the Hilltop Glove Podcast is sponsored by Bob's. Bob's is a Columbia-based retailer of over 100 Black-owned products from 20 Black-owned businesses. Bob's offers a wide range of items from household cleaning, cosmetics, and everything in between. With every visit to Bob's, you support Black-owned businesses, giving them the opportunity to grow and establish connections with our community. Bob's is located inside the Noma warehouse at 2222 Sumter Street in Columbia, South Carolina. Visit their website, weshopbobs.com, for in-store pickup or to find out more. Bob's can also be found via social media on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at weshopbobs. When you stop by, tell them the Hilltop Glove sent you. Bob's brings quality Black brands to the Columbia community. The Hilltop Glove Podcast is sponsored by Red Rooster Sports Bar and Grill. Red Rooster is your neighborhood bar and grill serving the best wings, burgers, and baskets in the Met.
Like the amazing food, the bar is always on tap, and there's plenty of screens to watch the big game. Red Rooster is the Midland's premier meetup spot for local car and bike clubs, fraternities, and sororities.
Staff is dedicated to accommodating all kinds of parties and events. If you're looking to catch a game, have a bite, and a drink, look no further than the Red Rooster.
Red Rooster is located at 7500 Wilson Boulevard, Columbia, South Carolina. For more information, visit redroostersportsbar.com or visit them on Facebook and Instagram at Red Rooster Sports Bar. Go where the winners go.
Welcome to the Hilltop Glove Podcast.
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 Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Hilltop Glove Podcast. Today we have the pleasure of interviewing the Upstate Circle of Friends. UCF is a nonprofit organization located in Greenville, South Carolina, with the mission to expand opportunities, enhance the quality of life, and the progression of at-risk children and their families through various educational, recreational, and social programs. In 2006, the founder, Ms. Dolores Pinson, was challenged with finding someone to care for her special needs son for the upcoming summer. 1 month later, after realizing other special need parents had the same problem, she resigned from her position from Greenville County School District and established UCF in May 2006. After partnering with George Singleton, vice president of UCF, they continued to strengthen the program and broaden the program, allowing additional funding and resources to broaden the focus to youth and family-focused programs. Since 2011, UCF has successfully provided healthy meals for 1,200 youth programs attending the Greenville County Rec Summer Program, and also recognized by DJJ for services promoting diversity of community partnership and 5-year job readiness training, as well as a vet forward home that will house a veteran family while transitioning. How are you guys doing today? We have a whole panel of people. So please go down and
Yes.
introduce yourself, your position, and what is it that you do for the
Yes.
organization.
Hello, hi, I'm Kim Gibson. I am the Urban Teaching Gardens farm manager here at Upstate Circle of Friends.
And my name is Toya Moore. I do a lot of stuff here at Upstate Circle of Friends, but the thing I'm most excited about is the edible garden manager, which is a greenhouse over at Southside High School. I also work with veterans and a little bit of other stuff. We'll talk about that later.
Awesome.
And my name is Tiffany Davis. I'm actually partnering with Upstate Circle of Friends with the USDA grant, and I serve as a subject matter expert on cultural nutrition, so food demos, that kind of thing.
Word.
Hey, I'm Zay Barton. I'm also partnering with the USDA through Ms. Toya with the USDA grant and helping being a subject matter expert as well with the grant at the high school.
Excellent.
Here at Upstate Friends.
Wow, it's nice to meet all of you guys today for the first
Yeah.
time and actually being here for the first time. You guys, this place is amazing. I
Yes.
have to come back and experience it. You have to experience it yourself personally, especially the garden, the community. And thank you for giving us a warm welcome. I appreciate that.
We're glad y'all could come out here. I told you
Yeah.
it's magical once you get on campus.
Yeah, like it's a whole experience from the murals, the how everything's so organized to you guys are welcoming. I just love it. Thank you so much. So can you guys tell us a little bit more about the early stages of UCF and what was it like working for the organization and stuff like that?
Yeah, so as you mentioned in the introduction, Upstate Circle of Friends started about 16 years ago. And over the years, it's really transitioned into multiple programs. Where we come in is we recognize that it was a desert out here. It's a food desert, it's a medical desert, it's a financial desert. There's just not a lot for the community in this area. So George and Dolores really identified a need and said, what can we do to serve the community? And that's where the garden idea was born. So we've been applying for multiple grants and opportunities to be able to help us fund the garden. And once we were awarded a couple dollars from USDA, we said, okay, now we're cooking with grease. Now we're cooking.
Yeah.
So when the grant, we were able to pull in what I like to call all my dope ass friends, just all the subject matter
Yeah.
experts to come
Yeah,
in
I
to
see
really
that.
expand the program. Well, I think I told you that when we first
Yeah.
met. I got a lot of dope ass friends.
So you
Yeah,
like
you
a
did,
plug.
facts.
Girl,
You plug
say it.
everybody. All right.
Say it.
Yes.
Okay. So were there any difficulties forming the nonprofit, getting funding, getting people from the community to know about the organization?
I don't know if Dolores had any challenges forming the nonprofit. I will say anyone who's in the nonprofit world will tell you it's really difficult
Yeah.
to get money
Yeah.
because a lot of people think, let me get a nonprofit, and then automatically the money's going to come in.
Yeah.
And that's not how it works. Like we
Yeah.
had to do years and years of programming to be able to get the funding.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't really understand that. It is a challenge, but once you find the sweet sauce, like once you find the group, then the money, I think, flows. But it's not even so much about the money as it is about like the energy when all of us come together. Like when
Yeah.
you see us together talking and laughing and enjoying the
Yeah.
garden and the food, that's where the magic happens. And that's
Yeah.
what makes you want to come out and hang out with us and talk
Yeah.
and donate money and time.
So how do you actually get involved with the USDA? How do they help you guys?
Yeah.
We have a grant writer, it's Roseanne, and
Okay.
Roseanne searches for grants for us.
Yeah.
And what we did is we just knew what it was the organization wanted to do and wanted to provide for, and we just applied for multiple grants. And we were
Okay.
awarded 2 USDA grants.
Okay.
One, I'll let Kim talk about her grant because she has a teaching garden grant, and then my grant is the edible garden grant. But the USDA
Excellent.
basically gives us the money to be able to purchase what we need to function because you can't have a business or a nonprofit without having a couple dollars to be able
Yeah,
to
of
buy
course.
stuff,
Yeah, of course.
you know, to look cute, whatever it is that we need to do.
Yeah,
So that's
stuff
what they
costs
do.
money.
Yeah.
Stuff costs money. Yeah, makes sense.
Execute our
Real
program.
money.
Yeah.
Kim, tell us a little bit about you and what you do.
Okay, so I run the Urban Teaching Garden, and it's going to be 30. We just got the grant, so we're kicking it off. So we have a community garden right now, but around the perimeter of that garden will be the Urban Teaching Garden, which will be 30 raised beds. We'll have a pollinating garden. We're also going to eventually have a healing garden as well. And we are going to work with youth. I recently established a partnership with an elementary school that serves this community, which is huge. It's a Title I school. And I'll be going in once a week to teach the kids about gardening, empowering them that they can grow their own food. Most kids don't realize when they come out to the garden and you pull a tomato off a plant or a cucumber. I had one kid say, wait, there's a cucumber on the plant. Like, why? They don't make that connection
The
from
process.
the dirt, the soil, from a truck to the grocery store. It's a box. I don't know what they think. Maybe they think it was genetically made.
Probably. It just showed up somewhere.
I'm older. My kids have grown up with technology, things just coming to be. So I don't think it's far removed that they would think that you didn't drop a tablet in some water and got a cucumber.
What's funny about what you said, I have a 2-year-old, and it's very interesting how she looks at food. She only eats 3 or 4 things, honestly. So
like
even
most
talk about
toddlers. Yes.
most toddlers. There's a community garden where we're at, and so we grow things in the garden. But aside from that, when we talk about food, she likes chicken. It's funny because she likes chicken. She likes chicken nuggets. She likes chicken tenders. And she knows what a live chicken looks like and will point it out. But she hasn't made the connection yet.
Oh, y'all about to break that baby heart.
I know. And she loves live chickens. But she doesn't.
Some children don't even know that milk comes from cows because they don't see it. And so getting back to our grant, we want to help children make that connection.
Yeah.
Kids are food insecure.
Yeah.
So teaching them that you have the power in your backyard, on your patio, wherever you are, you can grow food and feed your family is empowering.
Exactly.
And giving them some of that power back that they feel growing up in this area where they're having to go to the convenience store or no banks. There's really not a bank over here, a local bank over here. And there's no doctor's office. No, we are literally all that has been taken out of the community. And one day driving into the garden, it really hit me when our last grocery store, the Bilo grocery store, where it was just a hub. I didn't grow up here.
Yeah.
And the first time I went to that grocery store with my mother-in-law, literally it took us 15 minutes to get from the car to inside because she was meeting all her neighbors and people were catching up. Went in at the pharmacy. The pharmacy didn't just dispense the medicine. The pharmacist was saying, hey, Mrs., are you taking this with this? Your doctor didn't call this in right because I know your insurance only accepts this. So I had to change it. So it'd just be a second. And if you need it, I've literally seen people come from the deli and give people food because their sugar got low.
Oh, wow.
So it was more than a grocery store. And that has been taken out of our community. Yeah. And so it's starving people, not only physically, but mentally and spiritually. And it's sad on one point driving in, but then that sadness turned to determination, to feeling that determination. Okay, what can we do to counteract that? Yeah. This is our problem. How can we fix it? Don't just get mad. Do something about it. Yeah. That's what, the garden's going to do. I'm excited about it, and I'm excited to work with this team. This is a great team. I just feel like we have manifested this wonderful energy. So it's great to be out here.
And tell us a little bit about you guys, your partnership with the UCF.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm Tiffany. Feed Your Inner Chef is the name of my creation, my business. We've already done a few actually cooking demos with the Southside Middle School. Southside High School. Southside High School. And so where I come in is actually doing, like I said, nutrition education and cooking demos. So what we're doing is using elements of the edible garden inside the kitchen.
Oh, neat.
So that we're able to show, Kim was saying, the connection between food and how it's grown and then how to prepare it.
Yeah.
So when we're doing, for example, we did spicy chickpeas, for example, the other week. We did spices. So we did paprika, curry, and allspice. So we talked about what is allspice? What are the different ingredients that make up curry? What is paprika? And then we talk, and then of course we do the actual demo. We did fresh ginger root. I forgot about that.
Yes, ginger. I love ginger.
And all the healing properties, right? You know what I'm saying? So medicinal, that kind of thing. Yeah. And so after we do it, of course, then they're able to taste the food.
Yeah.
And then they're able to talk about, hey, what I like, what I didn't like. At the end, we actually garnished it with some fresh cilantro.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Then they start thinking about, how can I make this my own? Yeah. So again, that's why I like to talk about feed your inner chef. Yeah. Because this isn't necessarily a correct way of doing something, so to speak, more so about something that's going to be sustainable for yourself and your family. Y'all know our food got to taste good.
Yeah. That's what I had to learn.
And so that's what I'm hoping that I know that's what we are teaching them now in this level of really just discovering more about food. Because of course we're eating every day at home and that kind of thing. And one thing I tell people, most people don't grow up with chefs as their parents.
Yeah.
But we do eat every day. Most of us did with our parents, probably cooking something at home. Yeah.
That's a
so
reference point.
as we're doing that, again, let's just think differently about what kind of foods are we incorporating, how we're preparing them. And again, with a recipe, how you can use it as a guide to incorporate and maybe just change up a little bit things that you're already eating. And I like to think of it as a cultural thing, so that we really want to introduce not necessarily new foods, but just a spin on how to prepare it more nutritionally, more healthy. That kind
I need you in my life. I do. And what do you do? What do you do?
Me, like I said, I am a subject matter expert in terms of the growing aspect of plants and things like that. And I, like my friend here, I also have my own business as well called Whole Soul Organics. And so that is dealing with medicinal herbs and their intrinsic medicinal and healing properties.
Okay.
And so I like the growing aspect of that as well. And Ms. Toya here, she brought me on board to help her with her USDA grant as a living example to trying to change the narrative when it comes to like agricultural-based careers and programs and things, and how the stereotype or stigma attached to Black people and how they can't do these type of things because it's not for us. And so I come in, kids see me saying, looking like them, it helps change in their perspective. On that type of thing. So I feel like that's my biggest role.
Do they gravitate toward you?
I haven't met them yet.
Okay.
I haven't met them yet, but I will next week. I'll be coming next week.
Okay.
So how does it feel being the only guy in the group raising women here?
I know women, they do a lot. Women, they do a lot more than we think.
Yes.
So I'm here to follow their guidance.
Well, I appreciate
that.
Good answer. That's a good question.
So I can come to you and be like, this is hurting. And you'll be like, okay, I got this for you. Okay. So how important is magnesium?
Magnesium. See, I have all the specifics, rapid fire quite yet. But all minerals, all things, micronutrients, macronutrients, everything is good in their own specific level.
Okay.
And really Google will tell you.
Why did you ask about magnesium?
Yeah.
Because I love Big Sean, and he was talking about magnesium and how it heals the body, and you need it in certain
I just
areas.
ordered some more.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just going through a lot of stress, it helps repair your body.
Calm it down.
It calms it down, your parasympathetic nervous system, your stress responses. So a lot of times if you're in a stressful situation and then you think that you're calmed down, but your body still is like simmering inside.
Okay.
Yeah. Like people who go to sleep and their mouth is
jaw
is tight. You're not calm. You're still that's unresolved stress. So that wears on your body. Coming out of the pandemic, we all have a certain level of stress because that was a change to our everyday life. Anxiety with that, certainty when this is ever going to end. So yeah, magnesium's. That's so cool that you said Big Sean was talking about it.
I love Big Sean.
That.
I love Big
I
Sean.
know who Big Sean is. And
We'll definitely who Big Sean is.
Okay. All right.
But I know one of the reasons that we're all here, especially you all, we're here for the children because obviously children are the future. Especially with the program that you guys have going on, you're essentially working with the next generation of leaders. And a lot of those leaders we know may have had some issues or maybe some circumstances that might put them more at risk for getting into trouble, maybe getting involved in some things, going down some paths that as a community we do not want them to go down. So how important is it for you guys to be able to provide support and assistance for them? But then also, have you guys seen the impact of those initiatives?
Let me get this one, y'all.
I'm
You should get that.
So most people who know me know that I'm big on mental health. Mental health is my jam. So everything I do has a social and emotional wellness component as a part of it. So the significance is teaching these students who may have encountered significant trauma how to regulate their emotions and giving them other things to do besides go down that path. The beautiful part about this team is they can look at each and every one of us and see something different and learn something different from all of us. And I think the impact from what I've seen so far, especially in the greenhouse, is these are kids who didn't really care anything about gardening, didn't care anything about a greenhouse. All they want to do is eat, which we feed them, right? We give them food because that's how we catch them. But what I've seen is that, one, the kids need consistency. They need us to show up on time when we say we're going to be there. That's something huge for the kids. I was late one time. I wasn't where I said I was going to be, and them things came and got me. They were, first of all, You said
What you not gonna do?
you're not gonna just not show up on me.
But that's
They
a
hold
lot
you
of these
accountable.
kids. It's triggering
Right.
for
It's
them.
triggering for them.
Absolutely.
We
Yeah.
have to meet them where they are.
And we have to recognize that that's not just them being disrespectful.
No.
I could have easily been
Right.
like, watch your tone, who you talking to? No,
Yeah.
this child literally said
Right.
to me, you broke your promise.
That is valid.
You broke your promise. So for
Yeah.
me, it's important to focus on their mental and emotional health because these are people that are going to go off to college, into the workforce,
Yeah.
and they need to be able to not throat punch somebody just because they didn't do whatever somebody said they was going to do.
That's very true.
Right.
So that's the biggest component. And then the other component is I want them to see people like Isaiah who's studying horticulture. So you can go to college looking like he looked and you can be a Black man as a subject matter expert in the field of health and wellness and nutrition and start your own business. Tiffany is a certified dietary manager and does all kinds of stuff and kids don't know what that means. So we get to introduce that to them. I'm a firm believer that if you introduce students to different opportunities, that's going to have even as much of an impact on their mental and emotional stability as taking some medication to therapy. And to just look at us and to say, oh, Kim, she homeschooled her kids. She's a photographer. She has her own business. Miss Toya was in the military. Tiffany did this. I think that has just as much of an impact as us trying to sit here and force them to be a certain kind of way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for
So
sure.
I think it's had a huge impact.
Oh,
And
yeah.
Tiffany said, tell her what the kids think about you and your cooking.
They're so sweet. They are. I love being around them. And I feel like they're so engaging, like genuinely wanting to be there, want to learn, giving feedback, and just really supporting each other. Because I feel like it actually creates community within the kitchen itself, too. And so hopefully that's something that they take back home, that they are actually having more of a community there, even with their family, but associated around food. But yeah, they actually allowed me to be, what is it? I'm the part of the garden with the group me. What do we call that? I'm like the honorary.
She's an honorary something. Them kids.
But anyway, they embraced me. I'll just say that.
They be like, where's Miss Tiffany? She ain't here today.
They've been really good. And I feel like they're just really open and they're wanting to do something different if you just give them a chance.
Yeah.
Like really, period.
Yeah, this is a new experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was going to follow up, piggybacking on what you were saying, Ms. Toya, about how one, changing the narrative, giving them an example, seeing them that, okay, this actually exists. And, you know what I'm saying, you could look a certain way, be a certain way, and do this. But also,
This portion of the podcast is brought to you by Lynx Recording Studio.
Lynx is a premier audio and video recording studio in the greater Charleston area with 4 completely different booths, multiple peripherals, and 4 producers. They have the ability to service all facets of audio and video creativity.
If you need to record a song, a podcast, create a demo, or even take headshots and complete drops for Hollywood film, they've done it.
Call them at 843-879-9386 or find them online at lynxrecordingstudios.com. That's Lynx, Lynx, recordingstudios.com.
I have met these kids yet. But this summer, I worked at a summer camp kind of thing for kids. It's called Nia something friends. But there were a lot of quote unquote problem kids in there.
Yeah.
And there were not a lot of male teachers in there.
Yeah.
And so I came in there and I was teaching them things about media arts and nutrition. And I remember day one, I came in there with the camera and they saw me setting up these little poster boards. I was giving them visuals about the lesson before I gave them a hands-on thing. And as soon as they came in there, it was all boys class. The older kids, they were like, oh, this would be so boring. The younger boys, they see things like that. And it's like, oh, it's going to be so boring. We should have stayed outside, because they just came from recess.
Okay.
And I remember I gave them the lesson, and then I pulled out the camera. I said, all right, we want to try it. And then all of a sudden, they're like, I want to try it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They're open to it now because they see. And then once the other kids started doing it, they was like, okay, now I want to try it. And then they started liking it. And then this one kid who was labeled a problem kid, he would come up to me every day. I come and be like, so we using the camera today, Mr. Day? We using the camera today?
Yeah.
And now he would come up to me and I made a joke. I was like, man, you really interested in these cameras, aren't you? And I was like, would you want to be a photographer or something? He was like, yeah, I'm actually considering it now. And so
That's amazing.
helped open his mind to a whole nother career path.
Yeah.
So
It's awesome.
I think that's the beauty of experiential learning. We really don't take that into consideration when working with young people. Like, you have to do something. When Tiffany was like, cut up this cucumber with a knife, yes. You're going to cut this cucumber. You go out there and having them put their hands in the soil.
Hands-on experience.
Having them do something, even if it's something as simple as planting something in the ground.
Speak to that, Toya, about when they put their hand in the soil and...
So we did a soil activity where we're learning about soil health. So I'm bringing different types of soil for them to touch and to just see what it's going to look like and how your plants are going to respond. And they had little attitudes. They was like, I don't want to be here. They don't want to be there.
Yeah.
But as soon as we brought out the soil and I'm like, well, just take this and put it in the seed container or whatever. Ooh, this feels so soft. Ooh, I like this. What is this? How come it's like a teddy bear? It's so soft. Oh, you just had attitude too. And now all of a sudden you're into it. But that goes to, I'm a firm believer, and studies have shown that when you put your hands in soil, it acts as an antidepressant.
That's considered grounding, right?
It's
Yes.
Grounding has a lot of science.
It's serious.
It's real.
The negative ion exchange and it's a whole bunch of stuff.
But we don't have to go into all of that with the kids. They just know I feel better.
Right.
They just know I feel
That's
better.
it.
So
That's
it's
it.
accidental learning on purpose.
Yeah.
So we actually went outside yesterday and planted some mums, some chrysanthemums.
I saw your picture.
Yeah, it was so great. Them sure was out there digging in the dirt, barehanded, and it was wonderful. But the
Beautiful,
smiling
beautiful.
and laughing and having
Yeah.
a good time. So the benefit of experiential learning, I think that's what the USDA grant is going to do most for the people who come through, not just the students, but other community members who come through the garden. It's going to help us to shift our own narrative. Right? I didn't think I could grow anything. I didn't think I could. I would like fruits and vegetables. How many times have you had a kid say, I don't like the way this tastes?
But it's interesting. There's a preschool on campus, and the kids came out to the garden, and one little girl, I gave her a tomato. I can't remember. Whatever I gave her, she did not eat inside. She started eating it, and her grandmother was there, and she was like,
She only
mouthed to me. She was
usually
like,
eat
she
that?
doesn't. And I was like, she tearing it out. And she's, may I have more? I was like, sure. So the garden is a magical place. It really is. And everyone who comes, I can just see after they're there for a while, their inhibitions start to melt away.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, just being outside.
That goes right next to our next question. You heard of the quote, it takes a village to raise a child. Can you tell us some ways that you guys help with strength building and all around just the partnership altogether? Like you guys are basically a village. Mm-hmm. How do you feel about that? You're impacting and you're coming together to help.
I'm all about collaboration. I believe, what's that song by Neo? I say it all the time, I'm a movement by myself, but I'm a force when we're together.
Yeah, I like that song.
I believe that. Right. Hey,
Neo. Yeah.
I have been working tirelessly by myself to do a lot of things for my own business. And me and Tiffany have been friends for a long time. Tell you, it just didn't catch, right? It just wasn't doing well. But once I found the team and got with like-minded people, that's when it really turned into a thing. So I can't teach the children strength building and community and collaboration until I figure that part out. So once we can model that for the kids and show them how to communicate effectively, how to be consistent, how to be on time, how to do all the things that we're supposed to do as adults, then we can teach the children. So I think the community part, I know that's big in diaspora nutrition, the community part and being together is probably the biggest thing that we have going for us with this collaboration.
Yeah, I would agree. I think just to the point of what she's saying about them seeing us, I feel like, especially like when I'm with them in the kitchen, that I feel like that it creates even their own community, as kind of said before, between each other. Yeah. And I think they really do see how all these elements do fit together, whether that be, again, communication, again, food, the edible garden, and just how everything really just connects. I think they really get to see that in real time.
So I wonder how they're going to act when Thanksgiving is coming up and they're going to ask their parents, like, what did you put in that? They're going to be like, I taste cilantro.
Yeah. I have something to say about that. See, and kids, they're smarter than we think. Sometimes that we fail to realize how smart kids are sometimes. Yeah. So remember when I was teaching kids about nutrition, right? So I did a lesson about water and hydration. Yeah. And to give them a way of easily digesting the information, I would simplify, of course. Yeah. So I gave them an example of living water versus dead water. So I gave them water, like a bottle of water could be dead water, because it's devoid of nutrients and minerals. But something like this, or with cucumbers or something like
Yeah, I was peeping that.
You liven it up.
I was about to some of that.
Cucumber. Was that pineapple in there? Is that?
I always do fresh pineapples at home. And so when I cut them, the core that I take out, I put it in my water. So yeah,
That's
it's delicious.
I be eating my cores anyway. But.
Do you eat your cores? Okay, I'm not mad at that.
But then I would give them examples. I would go to the store and get things that they know, like Coke and Fanta and Faygo and things that they drink. And then I would get things that they've never seen before, like coconut water, like real coconut water, the expensive one that's $10 a bottle. Maybe something like that, or one of those little fruit drinks, little smoothies, and give them examples of living versus dead hydration. Yeah. And some of the other teachers in the building would come to me at later days and later weeks and be like, see, I'm tired of you. What'd I do?
Oh, my nerves.
They will be coming to me telling that the kids will be coming to them. Be like, Mr. Zay said that's dead water. You know what I'm saying? So they will be regurgitating and remembering the information that I'm teaching them. So
that's awesome.
They've been learning on purpose.
I love it.
I think the thing I love about it is you guys have really, and I don't think you guys might not realize it, but you guys have really tapped into utilizing effective learning styles to teach and to communicate the information that you're trying to share with the kids, especially when it comes to doing a lot of things, especially with tactile learning. And that's so big because so much of the issue that you see with education now is it's like an old school and it's a new school thing where you have more of an auditory, your lecture style, sit down with social media technology, right? But you have that tactile thing, and that with the pandemic, you're seeing how important those things actually are. Being able to actually be there, to actually experience it, to actually engage in that way. And then also even going back to before, even being in a traditional class setting, just somebody sitting there, maybe learning information and then disseminating that information to you, and you just receiving it and taking notes and then processing it. And it's neat because what you guys are doing is you're finding a way to connect directly with them to where you just step past that. And what you guys are doing are going to be what people 5 years, 10 years from now are going to want to start doing. You guys are at the cutting edge. And it's really dope.
You guys can actually go into other schools and branch this off because it's a creative learning. It's like a creative learning process, like a workflo. Yeah. So how do you guys manage your workflow and your time all together?
Who manages their time? You manage your time?
I don't even know how to answer that.
Right. That's
I don't. When I honestly, as a health and wellness coach, I don't believe that there's such thing as managing your time. I just think that's it's the same thing if people say, I want to lead a stress-free life. The only people who are stress-free are dead people. Yes. If you're living, part of living is encountering stress. Stress is let you know, okay, this isn't a good thing. Maybe I need to move. This isn't a good situation. Maybe I should move. So it's there to protect us. It's that we've fallen out of the habit, or people don't, or a lot of the kids that we work with don't know how to manage situations and manage it in the sense that to not end it, but because I use the word manage, but what that situation actually is telling you and how to deal with the emotions that are coming up in those situations. And I think within these situations, when we're meeting these kids, we're giving them cameras, tools, things of value, and all that's been taken away from them. So kids internalize that and see it as, I'm not good enough to have it. So that's why I don't have it in my neighborhood. It's that simple for them. They don't understand disenfranchisement. They don't understand all that. They're like, I don't have it because I'm not good enough. Or my neighborhood isn't a good neighborhood. So by us going into the schools and saying, you can have this. Here are seeds. Here are recipes. Here are new spices. It brings value to their school and to their curriculum, and it builds confidence. And they're able to take that with them into those situations that are difficult to manage. Because there was Miss Toya, there was Miss Tiffany or Zay that worked with me and sat down with me and shared camera and time with me. So I know that I do count. Just that situation isn't right for me.
And I think it's important to have people you can call and work through some of those stressors with, right? I'm pretty sure both of these ladies will tell you, I'm like, I need to talk. Let me just get it out of my system. But I told Kim, I was like, I'm going to work with these kids today. I can't go into this situation with these children with a whole attitude or being upset or having what I call stank ass energy.
Yeah.
I'm not bringing my stank energy to these children.
You being real. You being real. Leave it at the door.
But it also says it goes back to this amazing team of people, because you need educators who realize that's our responsibility, how we show up, take responsibility in that. And I've never had a group of Black people together, especially in a farm, because it always was, you are the weird Black. They called me the weird Kim growing up, because there were like 5 Kims in our class that went.
That's how they distinguished you.
So I was weird Kim. And 3 of us had the same initials. So even the teachers were like, okay, y'all got to figure this out. But I was weird Kim, because everything.
So she just got the initial.
What?
So she just kept the initial.
Oh, well, the kids call me Weird Kim. The teachers did not.
No, I was like, hold on.
I understand.
I was like, I hope they're doing this.
But it's like, I love Broadway, Annie, and there was always white people cooking, nutrition. I had still friends this day. She was 10. She was a vegan, a Black girl. She didn't like vegetables. She didn't want milk. And so we were weird together. But to come out here, have a yoga teacher, someone who's doing nutrition, a Black agricultural student, and Jamaica over there, she's not, but doing social media and art. And I send her pictures, and she's like, composition notes, all this great. I'm like, blowing my mind. Like, this is awesome. And I think that energy, that village for us, supports the work that we do for the kids. And the kids are teaching us. I think kids are our greatest teachers. From having 3, they have taught me 10,000 times more than about myself and the world than I ever could have done without
One
them.
thing I wanted to add was the buy-in from the faculty and staff.
Oh, yeah.
We can talk about that.
Yeah.
I don't know to what level you may want to add to this, but when we went in and had to initially encourage them to do this, it was one Thursday. Had like a 2-3 hour period as they came in like in different clusters, maybe 10 here, another 5 there, that kind of thing during their lunch breaks. And they were very apprehensive. But what I want to say is, in addition to that, since we've been in the kitchen and as we're cooking different things, again, the principal's coming in, the guidance counselor?
The head of the guidance department.
And how they actually are connected. And I think they see the benefit of what it is that we're doing as well. And I definitely want to really talk about that, emphasize it just a little bit, because I think that's an important part of it too. And I think it feels like they in that space, I've heard them while we're standing there, and they're asking questions to those principals, to those people that are in these spaces of, hey, I don't get to talk to you, what's going on kind of thing. I feel like it gives them, again, another level of I matter, and voice, and that kind of thing as well. So I think that's important too.
And unless the teachers see the kids in a different light, they're always a problem. Up in the greenhouse, laughing.
Exactly.
Toya's kids, they came out. Toya sent an email. I was like, we can't get adults to do this. They came up with a whole logo, rules for the greenhouse. It's like, these kids.
Yes, for sure.
But I was surprised, because when I first went out to the elementary school, they were like, we don't know if the teachers are. Right. And I was like, we don't start till the spring, as long as we start. And met with the principal. By the end of the week, they were like, the principal's excited. Can you come before winter break? I'm like, we'll work it out. We'll work it out.
So what can we expect from you guys? Because I know you guys have a lot of different programs with the organization. So can you tell us more about that? What to expect?
I think individually, we all have our own unique projects. As far as the USDA grant, our goal is to educate the community, period. At the end of the day, for me, I can't speak for Kim, but I feel pretty confident saying that we have a similar goal in educating the community. And it doesn't matter what community. It could be the seniors, it could be students, it could be people in this neighborhood, it could be the podcast crew. It's whoever.
Day one, you said, you're going to be on my team.
I didn't say that, didn't I?
I'm sure you told me that too.
I didn't say that.
She playing people
like
fast.
You said it right. Toya is the plug. You know, we're all like, and she was like, yeah, you're going to be on my team.
Yeah. So the plan is to continue just being dope and to spread that dopeness to as many people in the community as we can and change the narrative around Black people and gardening and being healthy.
Yes. Part of being healthy.
And tell us what each one of you guys have coming up, or what can we expect from you guys also?
Yes.
I have a couple of things. I am a wellness coach, and one of the things that I love to do is getting women together and talk about self-care. And it just happens organically. So I want to start doing that probably virtually because it's just easier with managing families and time.
Yeah.
But to just get on and do virtual calls and then do also out in the garden, we're going to do like sister dinners and lunches where you just come out, brew some tea. It shows you the lemon balm that was out there and just talk, because I think as Black women, we don't have safe spaces for us. And I really want to work this coming year to lay a foundation for creating some safe spaces for Black women, along with the USDA grant.
Yeah, I'm so excited about that. I can't wait to have the sister dinner out there in the garden and do some yoga. I'm so excited about that.
So we won't want to go home.
In addition to the USDA grant, because that runs through July 23, Feed Your F. I'm actually kind of restructuring a lot of things right now because I'm really wanting to do more things that's geared like to one-on-one or maybe like workshops and things virtually. But I actually do have another session that's coming up through Bloom Upstate. That actually
I'm connecting people. Listen, that's what it's all about.
Yeah, I'm doing a mommy-daughter cooking demo. It's going to be really fun. That's going to be in February. But then, like I said, outside of that, really, again, I want to really connect with people one-on-one and do recipe, menu development, that kind of thing. Again, center around foods that you already eat, but again, that you can just tweak it just a little bit with some additional spices and maybe some elimination of something to say that. Because I have a job that I work as a dietary manager in collegiate hospitality here in Greenville. So I do that 30 hours a week. So then the other days I'm trying to balance my business, that kind of thing. But I love what I do and I want to continue doing it, educating people, again, just how important it is for us to be healthy. And what I call my hashtag Eat Like You're Woke, but also thinking about...
I saw that. I peeked there. I like that.
Generational...
I'm a hoodie person.
Oh, I love hoodies.
I love hoodies. I'm a hoodie person. Yes.
Okay, I have so many hoodies, it's ridiculous. But yeah, so I want people to think about health in the terms of what I call, like people always talking about generational wealth. I want us to think about generational health.
But there's a hashtag too. And what about you, Zay?
As well, I am a full-time student at Clemson. So aside from being a full-time student, I will be working with my own brand, Whole. So in addition to the USDA things that will go in full swing in the spring. So aside from all that, aside from new product lines and product launches, tinctures, salves, lip balm, I might do lotion, maybe not. But I'm going to be partnering again with our good buddy,
Goods Honeybees.
Goods Honeybees, like 10, 15 minutes down the street. He got his own beehive. So I'm actually going to see him after this. We're going to do some more content on filming. And I'm actually going to be buying some beeswax from him so I can do my own products through Whole Soul.
Yeah, so I was checking, we were doing research on IG. I was going through the page and I saw something and that was awesome. Yeah, I saw that because I know we were actually supposed to be speaking with somebody earlier this season and we're trying to reschedule now. She's a beekeeper as well, Black beekeeper.
Really?
She's in the Midlands. She's in the Columbia area.
It's the Midlands.
Yeah, and I know that was someone we were supposed to interview earlier this season. We're going to be bringing them back in and stuff, but that's been something. For some reason, I've really been interested in honey beekeeping. Not that I want to do it, but it's just been an interest of mine recently.
And see, I guess I'm going to tell y'all this, y'all the first people to hear this. I'm actually starting my own colony soon.
Oh, congratulations.
That's amazing.
When I first met him, I said, are you growing? You got a beehive on your dorm, your college apartment?
No, I got a garden back there. I got a garden, but I don't have no beehive.
I knew it.
That's so
cool.
So definitely tell everybody how they can find y'all on social media, because I want to stay connected with all of y'all.
Girl, we friends now.
You can find me on Instagram at KMG Photolove. And then from there's a link to my artist site where I paint and do photography.
And you can find me on Instagram at Wellness The Go. And of course, I'm always here at Upstate Circle of Friends. You go to Upstate Circle of Friends, you're going to see me somewhere.
Okay.
You live here?
Practically.
I'm going to be real with y'all. I haven't been on social media much, but I do have social media presence. So you can find me in some posts, that kind of thing. But Feed Your Inner Chef. So FYI.chef. Play on words for your information because I want to feel like I'm informing people about eating nutritiously. But Feed Your Inner Chef. I'm on Facebook and on Instagram, and I'm wanting to get more on LinkedIn. So I hope I'll be getting on LinkedIn soon.
And y'all can find me on Instagram at Whole Soul, SOL, Organics _
I really appreciate this episode. We're going to have to do this again.
We appreciate it. It was fun. I got so much more to say.
I know. Thank you guys again for having us and definitely informing us, because this was a lot. This was very informative.
Yeah,
thank you to our listeners. And we're just going to wrap up this episode. Everybody like, subscribe, and definitely tune in. And thank you. Signing out. Hilltop Glove.
Thank you.
Hey, thank you.
Peace.
That's it for today's episode of the Hilltop Glove Podcast. Make sure to subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and other platforms. Also follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Hilltop Glove.